So hello everyone, welcome to another video of conditional formatting in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so we already have two videos in this series. Okay, and we have already discussed some of the options that are available under this, let's say, feature in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so we have already covered highlighting cell rules and the top bottom rules. So today we'll be discussing the data bar, color scale, and icon set. Okay, so without any delay, let's go to the practice set. Okay, so here is our practice set. Okay, we have already seen the examples on this similar set or the same set actually. Okay, so today we'll be discussing the following three no, options: the data bars, the color scales, and the icon sets. Okay, so what's the main difference between what we have discussed already and what are these and these options are? So when we have you know use the highlight cell rules, or when we've used the top bottom rules, what happened is only a few of the cells were selected and marked, correct? For example, let's say for highlight cell rules, only those cells were marked, those would follow the particular rule, or those would satisfy the particular rule. Okay, greater than, less than, or equal to, or between, whatever that might be. Similarly, for top or bottom rules, only those particular cells of the selected area or selected range were marked. Okay, we can say for the top 10 items, only 10 cells were marked. For top 10%, what happened? The 10% of the total range of cells were marked. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so at no point of time for these two options, all the cells were marked. Okay, but now what if you want a representation of a data wherein, let's say, you want to see how each of the cell is doing, or how each or where each of the cell stands comparing with one another. That means a relative performance of all the cells that can be. Okay, that can be that of temperature, that can be that of sales. Okay, for example, if you are recording the temperature, let's say, of an area, okay, for, let's say, all 365 days of the year. Okay, so how, or how you can picturize that particular temperature, particular data, that can be from red for hot to green for cold. Okay, and somewhere in between. So this kind of processing can be done using the data bars, the color scales, and my icon sets. Okay, so we'll be seeing one by one how how applying these options change the visualization of my data. Okay, so obviously the first thing to do is select my range, and again be very careful, because based on your selection only the comparison will be done. Okay, so just let me just make it correct. Yeah, so just let's select the range. Obviously by now you very well know what the range should be, correct? That is from B3 to M10. Okay, so be very careful not to include M11 here. So up to M10 I'm selecting. Okay, and then let's quickly apply data bar. Okay, so here you have various options. You have a gradient option, then you have the solid fill option. So let's apply both of them one by one. So let's go for gradient, and let's choose any one of the custom color. Okay, so let's go for, let's say, the red color. Okay, so what this basically shows. Okay, so here you can see one of them. Okay, so this says, you know this gives us a relative idea of where the data stands. Okay, so I think here you can see for Lasit Nagar in the month of January, the sales is the maximum. Okay, so for that particular cell, you see the bar is completely covered. Okay, so you can say that this is the top of the cell figure. Okay, and then all those bars, okay, are arranged relative to this particular cell. Okay, so you can, from the height of the bar itself, you can well imagine what the cell figure looks like. Okay, so greater is the bar, you can say greater is the sales figure. Lesser is the bar, you can say lesser is the sales figure. So if this design does not attract you, you can go for the solid color. Okay, so here you can see it's a, okay, just let me select the area. Okay, again the same thing, to first select the area. Okay, or you can just undo the selection, or undo the effect that you have applied, and then we can just redo it with some different options. So this is how my solid fill would look like. Okay, the same thing, just the looks are different. Again, you have some custom options here. If you don't like the colors, you can go for custom options. Okay, and you can obviously based on some of your requirement, you can change it. Okay, so I'll not just not go for that part. Okay, because we already have seen how to do that. Okay, so now the next option is color scale. Similarly, just like the data bar here, the entire cell would be marked. Okay, but you will have a range here. Okay, so what kind of range you will have? Let's see. So here, just obviously just select it, or you can just undo the let's say effect that you have already put. Then just select the area and just go to color scale, and then you can give any of the predefined settings that are already here. Okay, so here you can see. So we are let's say for this particular, okay, just let's select just any one of them. Let's say the first one. So here you can see what happened is that here we have a spectrum of from the color green to the color red. Okay, so here the maximum value is colored dark green, and the maximum value, oh sorry, the minimum value is colored red. Okay, and everything is in between is a spectrum of colors that are relative to this particular n values. Okay, so from this particular diagram, you can check, or you can very well visualize where or what kind of sale has occurred in a particular month for the particular store. Okay, so this kind of coloring scheme is very useful when you are plotting some temperature, or let's say plotting some altitude or something, some that kind of time series data. Okay, so that's one of the very important options, or very widely used options that you can have. Okay, so even if let's say you have some other requirements of the color, okay, let's say the schemes that are already available, that are already pre defined here, is not suitable for your data, you can obviously go for some custom type of thing or custom range of colors. Okay, so how we can do that? Just let's undo this thing and just apply the conditional formatting, color scales, and go for more rules. Okay, so here you can see this particular menu is unique for, sorry, it's common for all the options that you have seen till now. Okay, so what you can do, just check, you can have either 2 color or 3 color scheme. Okay, from here you can also go for data bar also if you want. Okay, but for now I'll be just going for this color scheme only. Okay, so let's check. Yeah, this is done. Then obviously for the if you select where you want to apply the color, now here is my lowest value. So for lowest value, what is the color that you want? Okay, let's say for the lowest value I want the red. Okay, and for the highest value, let's say I want, let's say green. Okay, or it can be any other color. So this is the spectrum that we'll have. Okay, so the highest value would be having this particular color, the lowest value will have this color, and relative to their position, the other values will have any of this color from any of this band. Okay, so let's go for some contrasting color. Let's go for yellow. So this is the spectrum that we'll have. So if we go for, oh, let's apply this. Yeah, so you can see this is a kind of representation that we have. So here 1920 is the highest, so you have the light brightest yellow here, and 400 is the lowest, so you have the brightest red here. Okay, so in this way your entire range that is selected would be marked by this particular option. So in this way it is different from the other options that I have discussed in the previous lectures. Okay, wherein only a few cells that satisfied the condition were marked and others were left blank, but here the entire range that you select is marked in one way or the other based on your condition. Okay, similarly the last option that we have is the icon set. Okay, so similarly just as we have done in the color scale, based on the values you can have, okay, just 3 or 4 levels of icons. Okay, so here the icons will tell you the value. Okay, so let's quickly see how it works. Okay, just let's undo this. The selection is already there, so just let me, I have already selected the area, so just let me apply the condition. Okay, so let's apply the simplest one here. So here you can see all that are above average here are pointed with an upward arrow. All that are in the average range are marked with this yellow arrow, and all that are below the average are marked with this downward red arrow. So you can also customize it. Okay, so let's try to customize it. Okay, just undoing the selection. Okay, and let's try to customize it. Icon set. Okay, so here these are the options that we can have. Okay, so it acts in the same way. You can have either let's say 3 icon set, or you can have a 4 icon set or 5 icon set option based on the type of visualization that you want. Okay, if your visualization is satisfied with the 3 arrow system, so you can obviously go for that. If you want more than that, you can go for 4 or 5. Okay, so let's see what are there in the more rules. Okay, so here you can see, here you can do the selection. So the format style is icon set. So here, from here you can select either 2 scale or either 3 color scale or the data bar or the icon set. Okay, so all these three types of options apply on the same type of data. Okay, and then from here you can select the icon set that you want. Okay, these are the various icon sets that you have. Okay, and then what you can do, here you can, based on your requirement, you can modify at which time and which value, that for which value these values or these icons would be displayed. So here you can see the, here for example, for 67 and above percent, okay, so that means for the entire data, any value that is more than 60% of the highest data would be marked with green. Okay, and anything between 67 and 33 would be marked yellow, and anything between and or sorry, at anything below 33 would be marked red. So you can just change those as well. Okay, you have full liberty to change any of those icons. Okay, and then also here you can have some formula. You can have a percentile also, you can have percent also. Okay, so you have this liberty to change all of this. Okay, so that's how you will apply this particular, let's say, options to mark your data. Okay, so here is a simple thing. Okay, so all those green, you can this representation can be read as, let's say, for all these green dots, the sales are good for the franchise. Okay, for all those yellow marked figures, you can say the sales are okay, nothing to be worried about. But for all those cells where the cells are marked as red, you can say yes, there's something to worry and we have to work better for better sales. Okay, so you can you know make such sort of predictions without actually looking at the individual data. Just by looking at the icons, or just by looking at the color, or just by looking at the data bar, you can make the assumption. Okay, so that's how these three options make your visualization easier. Okay, so we have seen clear rules, we have seen managed rules. Okay, so in the new rule, what we have is, we have a common window from where we can apply all those rules that we have seen till now. For example, when we select format all cells based on their values, we have the option of either color scale or data bar or icon set. Okay, so when we select format only cells that contain, so we can go for the you know individual cell rule type of thing. Okay, where we go for format only top or bottom rank, we can go either for top or top percent. Okay, so top bottom cell rule. So format only values that have unique, again you can go for the individual cell type of thing. Okay, again we have format only unique values or duplicate values, so again we can go for the first option that we had. Okay, so for the time being, I let you all practice this particular option. Okay, so either in the Google Classroom or in the comments in the video, you can tell me whether you need a extra video on this. But I hope you would not need a video on this topic. But if you need, just tell me in the comments, then I will make a new video on all these options, okay, one by one. Okay, and that will be, I think, covered in a single video itself. Okay, so that's all we'll have for this particular video. So we'll meet again, okay, in the next video with a new topic. Thank you, everyone.